Let's get all 5 of you in here. Let's go. Let's get all 5 of you in here. All my five viewers. Let's go. Let's get it going. Enjoy the Dreamcast music. Bring you back. Make you feel a little nostalgic. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So I thought it was really funny that today someone actually referred to me as a KOL. I was like, the fact that this person thought I was a KOL was funny, but which, if you don't know what a KOL is, it's a key opinion leader. If you ever thought I was a key opinion leader, then you are in the wrong place. The wrong place at the wrong time, but welcome, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Basically, we've had a lot of announcements. We've had a lot of different things with Coinbase. Coinbase is definitely a big topic of discussion. They released what is going to be, I guess, their super app, where they have prediction markets, they have stocks, they have basically where you can manage all of the different things and narratives and plays in one spot. So this is what all of the major platforms are doing right now. They're adding functionality with mainly a lot of them being prediction markets, and also perps trading, just basically making it to where they know that a lot of these, the people that are already in crypto, they're wanting to get exposure into the prediction markets, or they're wanting to potentially get exposure into some stocks. So there's tokenized stocks. The real world assets also are going to be available. So we have to think about how are these companies, or what are these companies essentially trying to do? They're trying to get users, right? They want people to use crypto. They want people to use their applications. So best thing that they can do is just say, hey, well, we have access to everything. If you want to buy stuff on chain, like see all the things that are being traded on Solana or being through the DEX instead of being centralized, which difference between centralized exchange is that there's order books, there's limits, but there's all these different things that go into it being centralized. But then there's the decentralized aspect of it, to where you're just trading directly on chain. You're just buying straight from the liquidity. And there's also going to be obviously buyers and sellers of that particular liquidity route as well. So essentially, all the big players are getting ready to have access and exposure to all of the different, services that are being provided in crypto right now. MetaMask is one of the ones that been around for a long time in terms of a digital custodial wallet for Ethereum, and for also the Ethereum layer 2s for the ERC20 contract, or, consensus, to where you have your EVM address for MetaMask, but now you can have Bitcoin native with that same key. So this is what's interesting, or at least what people might not understand, is that now with one single key, you can hold Solana assets, you can hold Ethereum assets, layer 2 assets, layer 1 assets, and as well as Bitcoin, all on a single private key. So that's pretty cool. So obviously you can do that as well with Fanta, but now that we have full MetaMask support with this is really cool. So this is what, I think is going to be the future for all wallets, is that there's going to be a lot of cross-chain, cross-platform functionality. So they're finally doing it. So now also a big thing that is connected with MetaMask is Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain finally got recognition from MetaMask. So thanks to Michael. So Michael is works with MetaMask on the security side, but he's definitely, a big player and one of the, KOLs for MetaMask that pops up in the timeline and the feed a lot. I'm sure you guys have seen them. Just pull them up real quick. Michael, yeah, Michael K.ETH. So he works for MetaMask. He's probably seen him shilling the MetaMask card or talking about privacy and talking about how MetaMask has like the most secure wallet in terms of protecting you against MEV bots, protecting you against any type of potential phishing scams or anything like that. MetaMask apparently has the best design for that. So, but the thing that MetaMask always was a little late on is getting the support for Pulse Chain, because Pulse Chain is a true layer 1, using Ethereum's ERC20 model. But for some reason, you couldn't add the network, you couldn't add the RPC, which is the network RPC, to be able to connect and view and integrate into the chain. It was never in the list. You had to add it manually. And but there's all these other networks that they say, popular networks that you can add, and then you can go in and click on those and add. And most of them you probably never even used. You might have even used Pulse Chain more than some of these that they have as the quote popular networks. So now that's finally has been fixed, and Pulse Chain has been recognized. I'm surprised that he didn't directly repost this on his. So let's see. Did it? I thought I had the post up. Where'd it go? All right, maybe I just bookmarked it. Let's look at my book. Here it is. Okay. So MetaMask has reached out and would like to make things better for Pulse Chain. So very specifically, tell me what you need fixed in a concise and replicable description. I already told them about the difficulty with adding the free ERC20 copy tokens from the full system state fork. So let's see what Pulse Chain stats said that they would like to do. So Pulse Chain in popular networks. So that's always been the thing that I wish, as someone who thinks that Pulse Chain could be one of the craziest, most asymmetric upside potentials in crypto. Because if you remember what Hex did, it was crazy. Some people would call it a scam, but then everything's a scam. If we're going to view everything as, quote, a scam or not, bundled or not, I mean, the whole damn system is set up with a scam. So we all have to really know this at this point, that the leverage markets are a scam. All the liquidity that's like inside of trading is fake and a scam because it was revealed to us by 1010. So if we know that to be the case, what do we do? Do we just quit, give up, just be like, oh, well, I guess that's a scam. I can't be a part of it. The whole system is set up like a Ponzi scheme and a scam. So you have to play the game. You have to play the game and take the risk, because it's more risky not even being in any type of, quote, investment or trying to figure out how to make your money be preserved, because that's ultimately what we're trying to do. Is like, okay, yeah, we need to survive, we need to make money, we need to pay the bills, we need to do all that stuff, but how are we going to actually preserve the wealth when we make it? So let's see how we can do it. Let's see how we can do it. So with Pulse Chain, I think it would be cool to have it listed in the popular networks when you add it onto MetaMask. Price support. Yeah, money is a scam. Working for money is a scam. The fact that they can just type numbers into a computer and just make money appear, which is like a lot of how our money system is operated right now. We think it's tied to something, but really, there's magic internet money machines that exist in our government that just goes do in there, do. Elon Musk already revealed that by the Department of Government Efficiency. So there's just like magic internet money computers that just go and then sent. So if that's the case, just like how Bukele, president of El Salvador, explained that, well, if we could just print the money, why do we pay taxes? You could just print the money, then why do we pay taxes? This is a system and a form of control. All right, so let's see what else they would want. Pulse Chain stats. Okay, better handling for finding tokens in the user's wallet without having to manually add all. Yes, that would be cool. Because I don't understand how they had all this functionality and viewing of all these other chains that have the same routing and API and price, you know, all the stuff that you would want to update for your portfolio. You'd have to go in and manually use all these other things to be able to do it. And I just think that has been such a way of really kind of stonewalling people from even knowing that this ecosystem exists. And then combine that with CoinMarketCap basically doing the same thing where they're stonewalling it. And you guys know, like, Binance bought CoinMarketCap for an undisclosed amount a long time ago. And so if anything, if you want to know about CoinMarketCap, is that they're probably going to favor the things that they want you to see. And they're going to put that up in your face more so than the things that they would not want you to see. So it's just like how the algorithm works. It works the same way, I think, when you start to look at who owns what and why they would purposefully not let people see the Pulse chain ecosystem. Why would they do that? It's so weird. It's so weird that they would not let people see Pulse chain, but they would let people get and see Ohm, which was one of the biggest rug pulls and liquidity grabs out of this past year. You guys remember Ohm Mantra? How that thing was getting pumped. It was just they had all the incentive to make you think that you should start focusing on Ohm Mantra for the real world asset, you know, play. Thing went to freaking zero. And so why is that allowed? But then where you have an actual community of people that are consistent inside of the community of Pulse chain, you know, pros and cons, you know, whether you'd like to be in it or not, it still exists. So very telling. It's very telling. Okay, so that's just some of the news that's popped up. That's some of the most recent things. I wanted to pull up the price action right now. Price action right now is a little, it's choppy. It's really choppy right now. I mean, if anything, the momentum looks good. Like, we can see that Bitcoin it's really trying to test back up to 95,000. You can see it. I mean, it's really happening pretty strong here. It is trying to test hard back up to 95. It really wants to get to 95,000. It just looks like that. And we're coming really close to the end of the year, guys. And there's a lot of price calls and a lot of price targets that are getting completely invalidated. A lot of people are going to be wrong if Bitcoin closes below 100K at the end of the year. And so there is Polymarket bets on whether BTC will be below 80K and hit, or what price will Bitcoin hit in 2025, or at least by the end of 2025. We're starting to get people betting on the fact that it's going to be at 80K. We have 32% though saying that it'll be at 95. So let's see how that diverges, because sometimes these things can diverge pretty quickly, and all of a sudden we get some news, price gets affected, or it goes price, then news. It's kind of crazy right now, because there is just, you would think that sometimes when the things that hit the market in terms of good news would make the price go up, like say Michael Saylor buying on a Monday, or we have, you know, just whatever the good news might be, it seems like the markets always get manipulated to the downside to kind of to mess you up and liquidate you. So we haven't, and in that, we haven't been focusing on trading too much, because if you're trying to trade all in this, I mean, look, it's like you get the range, you get it up here, and it's like you'd really, at this point, it's like it's anyone's game, but then you can just see where that liquidity gets smacked right back into the downside. So so just be careful if you are trading right now. Just know that the market is very volatile, and you'll have to just kind of see when that volume picks up, see when we've hit the order blocks on resistance, and that will reveal to you a lot of different liquidity areas where we're going to bounce. So you can see here, liquidity was sitting here. You can see it kind of went back and touched into here. And we're just kind of steadily trying to test 95. So that's just the short term. But really, I think in the long term here, the best thing that you could look at right now is the ETH BTC ratio chart. Look at the ETH BTC ratio chart, and let's take off some of these things, and we are going to look at the ETH ratio chart. Okay. I want to full screen it. Full screen it. This chart really it's very, very important. Why is it so important? Because this chart represents two of the altcoin seasons that we've had in our history of crypto. And by altcoin seasons, I mean where we have like whatever the new application is, whatever the new thing is, the new tech, coupled with euphoria, speculation, also timed perfectly with the ratio starting to flip bullish and start to break out. Okay. Now, if you don't know what the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio chart is, it's basically back in the day, you would actually only be able to trade pairs in crypto with Bitcoin or Ethereum because there wasn't like very many stable coins. The stable coin market wasn't very much established at that point. I think USDT, like there was more pairs to actually trade. You had to trade and actually had to know what the ratio was of ETH or Bitcoin. But obviously we're past those days. But this is the representation of people trading their Bitcoin to buy ETH. So every time this starts to flip bullish is a representation of where this rotation comes in. This one. So the rotation is this play is always in play, whether it be in short term or long term, but this always happens. This always happens, and I've watched it happen. And it's real tricky to stay bullish all in these phases and before the phases actually start, because it's meant and designed to shake you out. It's designed to make you have post-traumatic stress. That's how it's designed. So if you know that to be true, then you just need to know that I have to be calm during these phase points. So if that's the case, and all we have to do is be patient and not freak the hell out and know that this still is in play here. You could even go as far to say it's bullish when every time we've consolidated down to the lows, we've made a higher low. So why would I think that we wouldn't ever try and test back up to this level again, knowing that we're in a way better story framework and regulatory framework for crypto, all that stuff. And to know that all of my favorite meme coins and some that I've never bought, but I've looked at and watched, Loki's one of them, Man, a lot of the Solana coins, but then also just some of the ETH coins that aren't even memes themselves, but they're protocols, maybe DEX tokens. Maybe they have just an application that is just like a cool narrative, whether it be like sell service, whatever it may be. It's just all kinds of different stuff that you can do with the ETH network. So all of those coins experienced mega pumps into the thousands of %, with the story being not as good and having the ratio of BTC and ETH do this, whilst we had Gary Gensler suing everyone out the wazoo. We had all the stuff happening in terms of just like the crypto's still speculative. It's so speculative. We don't really know if it's going to be a thing. All those all the typical FUD that you hear, the non-believing, and the banks like JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon on the news saying Bitcoin's going to go to zero. It's going to go to zero. You got all the characters that are telling you that they're never going to get into blockchain. They all told us years ago that they're never going to do this. We're never going to get into that. God, why would we ever get into that? And look what just happened with JP Morgan. They just set up their first money fund, called MONY on Ethereum, and seeded it with $100 million. And so this is why when I hear everyone talk about how there's never going to be an altcoin season and ETH's going to $200, I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be on that side of history here of crypto. I'd much rather be putting my money where my mouth is and thinking, yeah, I'm more on the side we're probably going to go up higher and hit these levels than us going to $200. I don't know. For me, it just doesn't make any sense. So the point I'm trying to make is that all the coins that I talked about experienced insane pumps and network effects, essentially, and euphoria with all of that happening. And so now if we have all of the things that we ever wanted, whether you wanted the institutions to be in crypto or not, here's the deal. Here's the reality for you. We needed them. Charles Hoskinson, I don't agree with him. He said, oh, now that we have the governments and they've taken what we had. What do you mean what we had? Crypto people are poor. The average freedom fighter is broke. What the hell are you talking about, Charles Hoskinson? It's easy for you to say, oh, this is our stuff. It's like, what are you talking about? The institutions are coming in for whatever's going to be the next thing, and whatever's going to be the thing that they can control, they're going to control it. Like this, it is folly to think that we're just going to have this thing for ourselves. I'm sorry, but it's kind of naive to think that they were never going to come for crypto. But we kind of needed them because that's who prints the money, man. That's who prints the money. Where does the money come from? Where does the value come from when it goes into the stock market? It comes from the Federal Reserve printing the stupid fiat cash. That's why the stocks are even set up to begin with. That's the whole scam. So we need the liquidity of the scammers and the money changers and the feds and the banks. We can't get money from retail, and there's no money there. So let's not be so naive to think that we were going to survive by people peer-to-peer trading Bitcoin and cryptos. No, we need the fake money. Get in here. That's what's going to pump the bags. That's just the truth. It's sorry to say it, but I mean, it's just like, that's what you have to realize. It's like, the money's coming from the sovereign wealth funds and the crazy, all this stuff that's around the world. Woo. So yeah, guys, like these coins they've already experienced something like that, and then we are set up in this particular framework. I just feel like we're still undervaluing it. So I know I'm being kind of like a perma bull right now, but I really do think that we are just massively undervaluing the setup here. Like, look, for instance, I mean, like I talked about Metis freaking 2 years ago. Metis is one of those layer 2s for Ethereum, and it actually I think it uses Metis as the gas token. So instead of it using Ethereum, it actually uses Metis as the gas. And the network is actually called Andromeda. So if you've never dived into, but something like this is up 10%. Pepe up 9%. We're in the everyone is dooming and quitting and telling you you're a scammer and you've promoted all the stuff. I can't believe you've been so irresponsible to have faith in something. That's literally how people are acting right now. They're like, how dare you believe in something? How dare you believe in yourself and your channel and crypto and talking about it? How dare you? You'd be ashamed of yourself. All right, well, let's make sure there's not any like crazy breaking news that's happening right now. Hold on, what is it? That's funny. So basically, sorry, I wasn't going to say anything, but this guy, he freaking tagged me in this and was like, oh, never forget all these people that supported the farm rage guy. And like, I told you guys, like when I had Ragsy on the channel, we were probably going to talk about some coins. And the specific coin that came up was Rage Guy, because there was this whole debate and a battle between the PvPers. So we've talked about this a lot on this channel, where there's coins that come out that are maybe the original coin, original contract. And I'll give an example as like Wojak on ETH. Okay. So there was like original Wojak contract that was minted on Ethereum around the same time as Pepe. Okay. But then now go into the launch pads and you have all the people making tokens. They're making copycats of sometimes original contract memes or lore or whatever it is. So Rage Guy is in the lore of a 4chan meme, just like Wojak, just like Pepe, kind of in the same lore category in its origin. But what people are doing is there was like 17 Rage Guys. There's like 20 different, just like CZ's dog, Broccoli, when that whole maniacal thing came to the timeline and CZ was so irresponsible and making it to where everyone got PvP'd into, there were like 150 different Broccoli tokens. Ridiculous. So this is what is happening constantly. And how are you going to know which one is, quote, the one that's not the scam? How are you going to know? By instead just buy 5 of them. I don't know, but that's exactly what me and Ragsy talked about on the stream. We said, look, that's how you end up figuring out which one is going to be the one that is going to be the runner. So it's just like how I bet during some of the 2023 era, you had to just pull the trigger, and then you never know what was going to actually pump or not until you started to see maybe the on-chain activity. Maybe you saw some whales, and then you started to see, activity, and then you can say, okay, well, maybe this one could be the quote one that runs or becomes the one that people pick up. You just don't know. So this guy was like, never forget all the people that supported this farm. He said, and many more, I'm personally blocking and reporting them all. And so, but what's funny is that if you click on this person's profile, he's promoting another rage guy. So it's like, it's ridiculous. So I explained this, me and Ragsy explained this. She said, I bought 15 rage guys. But she said the difference between this one, and I kind of agree, because I like this about crypto. It's the contract lore, the little Easter eggs that you can find and stuff. And I think the cypherpunks and the OG ETH people, they like that too. For example, the contract lore for Pepe is the best one. The supply and the number 69 is in the contract. So when you go to Pepe, you look at Pepe. Let's go to Pepe real quick. Oh dang, this is so suck. Oh, Turbo's coming back. Uh-oh. Turbo's coming back. I'm telling you guys, people are starting to like. I think the whales are coming in hot for the memes. Like the memes, people think that the super cycle is not it was like a lie. They're like, the super cycle ETH meme cycle Morad is a joke. I'm telling you, Michael Saylor and Morad are going to be the two most legendary characters ever in financial history, because Morad is going to end up being right. I'd bet on the more ironic outcome and crazy, odds are way more in Morad's favor than they're not. Same with Michael Saylor. Odds are way more in his favor to succeed than fail. If you're to base it on a prediction market, I'd bet the lot on Morad being right and Michael Saylor being right. And if you're a type of person that is betting for them to be wrong, then I think you're not looking into the future properly. That's all. So let's get back into what I'm explaining about the contract lore. Okay, Pepe, contract lore, OX69. It's literally 69 in the contract. Very first two numbers, 69. The supply is also key because the supply is 420 trillion or billion tokens. So there's 420 and 69 in the contract. You can't recreate that. Okay, so it's just, that's how it is. So the reason why Ragsy picked the rage guy that she was like, okay, well, I'm gonna think this one might be it. We'll see. It has the FU in it. The whole meme of Rage Guy it's like, that's the meme. So that one has the FU in it. So could that one be the one? I have no freaking idea. I don't know. That's up to you to decide. So don't let anyone rage bait you and knock you off off of your thesis or how you view the market. Because look, I've come to this channel, I've told you guys, look, this is entertainment purposes only. No one should ever be blaming anyone else for clicking and buying, or clicking the buy button, clicking the sell button. I don't care if it's a scam or a rug pull. I don't care if you're in a Telegram group. I don't care. It's your fault. It's no one else's fault of what you buy and what you sell in crypto. Stop blaming other people. It is your fault if you lost money. Okay? It's your fault. No one else's fault. This is DeFi. It's the Wild West out here. It's cutthroat. And you think the financial world is any different? It's actually even worse. You think Wall Street is any different? It's worse. So stop blaming people. I've always blamed myself. Everything I've round tripped, everything I've gotten scammed on or rug pulled on, I don't blame anyone but myself. I just go, all right, I got to learn. I got to get better. I have to get better. Headband's giving me 10 coins that went up like crazy that I probably could have bought and scooped off a little profits. But hey, you win some, you lose some. You live to trade another day. Smash up the damn like button. And let's continue. Okay, so contract lore. Use that to your own discretion. You know, the contract lore is cool. I like it. That's what and you know what's even worse? It's not even about Headband giving me tokens. I had my own bullish tokens that all went up thousands of %. I round tripped them all. If anything, like, you should trust me the most because I didn't even sell the things that I was bullish on. I'm an idiot. I've round tripped so much stuff. God. This whole year, I literally rode my whole portfolio up into thousands of dollars that I could have taken profits on, and I rode it all the way back down. You could say I'm an idiot. Or you can say I really believe in crypto. Say I'm really here for the long run. Really here for the long run, my friends. Prepared to round trip bags to prove a point. Show you a damn moon bag. But I think what's happening right now is a perfect setup. I think it's a perfect setup. I really think it's a perfect setup. I think that if you look at the two parallels, you know, you have Michael Saylor, who's basically signaling to all of the wealth in the world that Bitcoin is the answer. And so then you're going to have all the people that are on the other side of this saying like, well, this you're going to fail. You're leading everyone to their slaughter. You are going to bankrupt people. MicroStrategy is going to go to zero. And your mission of getting everyone to be bullish Bitcoin is going to fail. Okay. So there you go. There's that narrative. Then you have Morad, which is exemplifying the let's say the aura of the culture. Aura of the culture right now is that what do we have to look forward to? I think a lot of the hope of the young people right now, in some ways, is hopeless. Like there's not as much hope. There's a lot of hopelessness because they don't see a way that they can afford to even have kids. They can't seem to think in the future of them being able to afford a house like their parents did. They're living paycheck to paycheck. If they even have any extra money at all, they're most likely then spending it on trying to cope with the fact of feeling all those feelings. And so then it creates this cycle of not actually being able to really get ahead and having zero hope, no hope for the future. If you don't have hope for the future, you will it's just there's so many things that I could try and like say to sound smart and blah blah blah, but you get the idea. So I don't have to go deep into it. You know this to be true, you feel it, you feel the shift, you feel it. It's a type of hopelessness. So, but what gives hope? Spirituality, having a spiritual practice, whether it be you start going to church, whether it be you start believing in something that has a higher power more than so yourself and your selfishness. That's the whole thing, is like there is something greater that I can work towards, which could be, hey, if you know, for me is that I want to break the mold and break the cycle of what my parents went through, what my wife's parents, where her parents went through, like them, you know, just all the things in the cycles. Like I want to break that. So I have to have hope for the future for my daughter. and know that I can break that cycle of broken families, keeping a marriage together, like keeping our family strong under a foundation. That you have to have hope and faith, and that's really important. So I think what the meme coins can do for young people is give them a sense of hope, ignite something in them. If anything, these movements can create a sense of urgency to make something change. This is what Morad is actually talking about. People think he's just shilling meme coins. No, it's not. It's way more than that. Your small mind is looking at it like that. But if you look at it as the actual aura and the feeling of the biggest generation to actually be able to make this happen, is to believe it to be true instead of always saying that it's not possible. It is possible. There's millions of people to make it possible. When enough people buy a fucking chart and are not selling it, what happens? It goes up. Did people forget about that? Holy shit. So the movement is all perception in your mind. And so all this bearishness is purposefully programmed in the system to make you not realize exactly what I am saying. Everything is being viewed in a very small-minded way. And I'm tired of it because, I'm not small-minded. I am big picture-minded. This is why I'm here right now. Here right now. And this is why you're here right now, because you feel, too, that something's up here. We need to believe in something. We need to persist, believe in something. That is why every time I think that I'm going to quit this live stream and not come here and speak my mind, I feel like I'm going to puke. I say, I'm not going to be a bitch like that, because I'm not. If you can't feel and hear the passion in my voice, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. But damn it, I'm not quitting. That is what I think is like the true thing that we could start to really focus on here is literally watch Michael Saylor, watch Morad, and watch the loudest communities. Watch the loudest communities in here win. And watch these phases play out again. Well, everyone's trying to tell you that it's not. Oy. And shout out to ChatGPT. Honestly, ChatGPT's been nailing it. Like, I've been giving it really good prompts, and it's been doing really well. Look at this. I mean, this is like Some good stuff right here. I was like, make me look like Aragorn riding on a horse, holding Bitcoin and ETH, riding into the next crypto phase. And now I'm just going to keep making versions of myself looking like Lord of the Rings characters, being bullish on crypto. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we think that we're going to continue the never forget the truth. Oh gosh. Look, these people are going to try and rage bait me on this timeline right now. Nope, they're not do it. Okay, so we're talking about the meme coin. So the meme coin wars right now is happening between Moonshot, we got Pump Fund, we got Launch Lab, we got Bonk, and we got Jupiter Launchpad. Look, Launch Lab, Bonk Fund, Pump.Fund, Believe, Moonshot, Boop, Jupe Studio, Wavebreak, Bags, Heaven Dex. Look how many tokens in just the last 24 hours were minted on Pump Fund. 16,269 tokens. And then Bonk tokens, 1,165. Launch Lab, 55. Moonshot, 31. So, gosh, this is crazy how many tokens are getting launched on Pump Fund in a 24-hour period. It's insane. Holy crap. And so it's like what I think about what these real true movements can do with meme coins. Like, for instance, like Pepe, Doge, SHIB, that have the most holders. Like, you think about the tokens that have the most holders still, after all through these cycles that we've been through, and they're still holding these particular coins, I think there is going to be a quote Lindy effect. So the Lindy effect is that the longer something does last, the more asymmetric upside, like it just has just sticking with the thing. So for instance, like if you were someone who was like thinking like, look, Coke has like has the biggest branding of all time. It's got the best color aspect for your eyes, white and red, combined together, make you feel a certain way with your eyes, okay? Okay, with your eyes. Your perception of everything determines everything. And the people and the powers that be know this, and they've known this for thousands and thousands of years. And so they use imagery, colors, and shapes and symbols to make you feel a certain way. It's called the spectrum of light and frequency, and it all relates and correlates with your body because you do have chakras, and those are real. The Hindus and they knew about this stuff. They knew about this, and I think the new agey crap made it too woo woo and made it to where it's like, oh, chakras, okay, bro, yeah, go meditate, and then they think it's not real. Oh, it's real. It's real. So it's sad because a lot of the new agey crap made it too hokey. And when we talk about chakras, then people immediately think you're a crystal thumper. And then they completely just tune you out. But it's scientifically proven that it's connected like that through the frequency. So back to what I'm saying. Red. Okay, so red, branding, Coke. It also helps that it's addicting. It's got caffeine and sugar in it. But the point I'm trying to make here is that is a Lindy effect crazy brand that's been lasted for hundreds of years. Almost now. It's like Coke is going to be around forever. McDonald's is going to be around forever. People still buy McDonald's food and knowing that it's bad for them. We know it's bad for us. We still buy it. So I think that some of the aspect of crypto, we have to think about it in terms of that. It's like, you have to think about it like that. We just have to last through the FUD. We have to last through the FUD. But Rectal Terror says, Dano, you the man, brother. Watching you is getting my head back in the game after like a year of being checked out. Let's go. Because honestly, dude, man, this year has tested me so much. If I could like explain to you the arc of emotions that I have felt this year, and I'm sure you guys have probably been on that same boat. Like, oh my God, like I've been on emotional roller coaster where I felt like I was on top of the world, and then like flash frame crying in the fetal position in the shower. I like howling. Like I thought I was going to lose my mind. That's literally the points of emotions that I've been this year, where I was like so up and then felt like I was like gonna literally lose my mind. So if we can just survive this and get through the boot camp here of crypto, it's like, I think we will be rewarded in some type of way, either through like sheer empathy of the universe and God. I don't know. But man, I think there's going to be a cool story arc here for us all, crypto people. There's going to be a real cool story arc that we can all tell our grandchildren and be like, hey, remember when everyone was so bearish on cryptocurrency? And I was getting my wife to DCA ETH, and everyone called me a crazy person. But now my kids can take care of themselves and their kids for years to come. We're all going to be in the rocking chair telling our great grandkids about the story of how we didn't quit. Okay? That's where we're going to be. Where we're going to be, my friends. Okay. Man, there's some really crazy. Ooh, yeah, wave break. Yeah, so wave break is Orca. Okay, so let's get on the Solana. Let's talk about Solana real quick. I know because we're so bullish Ethereum, but we are also bullish Sol. We're also bullish Solana. Why am I bullish Solana? Because Solana is Solana's like Apple. Solana, the best example that I heard was Raw Paul talking to Ran, Crypto Banter Ran, and Rand was like, why should I care about Ethereum? Why should there be any case for anyone to be bullish Ethereum anymore and buy it? And he said, well, the fact of the matter is that Ethereum will have more developer support and will be more recognized as an institutional safe blockchain to use for building their applications, for doing the banking stuff. For example, JP Morgan used ETH to do their stuff. So, and then not to mention, you got all the institutions and the custodians and the wealth managers, like the Fidelities and the brokers that are brokeraging all the accounts for 401ks, retirement accounts, whatever it is, they are now, in with the ETFs, with Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, XRP, Doge. Go down the list of, top 10 cryptocurrencies. There's ETFs now. And so I think how I look at it is like, you got ETH is like real stuff. ETH is real. Sol is also real, but Sol is like Apple. Sol is like, hey, we got the dApps, we got the iPod, we got it's like the App Store, like it's almost more like that. And then Ethereum is like Microsoft. So if ETH is like Microsoft, that's going to be used by all the banks and used by all the, all that stuff, like super institutional grade things. And then Sol is going to be on that level as well, but it's probably going to cater to more of like the aesthetic style of like how DeFi and blockchain should be, because that's kind of how the branding is. Like ETH is like smarty pants, fundamentals, DeFi, ETH, internet money. And then Sol is like, let's have some fun and break stuff. Yeah, the blockchain maybe went down a few times, but hey, we're trying to figure it out. I don't know. So that's kind of how I view Sol. Now go into the ecosystems of Sol. If we know DeFi, know the aspects of crypto, there has to be liquidity. So it takes a little while to understand this, and you have to be looking at stuff all the time and realize that trading volume and liquidity and all that stuff matters, and supply matters, and it's basically the bank of the coin. There's going to be multiple liquidity pools set up for different coins, and where are they going to be set up? They're going to be set up on Uniswap. They're going to be set up on different different DEXs that are going to be able to provide the liquidity. So on on Sol, you have Radium and you have Orca, Meteora, and what's another one that is actually has the liquidity pools now set up where you can provide liquidity on PumpSwap too. So what I start to think about in terms of how could you build up a bag if you're going to be bullish Sol and know that there could be something that is going to outperform Sol in terms of percentage movements, with Sol going up, say 350%. Sol goes up 350%. Connected to the DEXs, Orca is going to go up 1,000%. That's just how I think about it. So I would want to be holding Sol and some Orca and Radium and all the DEXs that that have to have liquidity provided. You can go as far as saying pump swap, and the pump token would have that same aspect. But there's a lot of controversy with this because it's been crickets from Anon. There's no airdrop in sight, but we just looked at the figures, and people are 16,000 pump fund tokens were just created in the past 24 hours. So people are obviously using the platform. Are they doing this because they are hoping to get the airdrop along with these creator fees and, all the stuff? So it's really interesting. So this is how I'm kind of wanting to go into the next couple months, is just try and keep like my focus and say, look, I'm not necessarily going to be buying memes on Sol. I have my ETH memes that I like. So I'm going to focus on that for ETH. And then look, I got my wife buying ETH. She's my DCA ETH. Then I'm holding this underlining ETH speculative stuff, which is like the ticker Bitcoin, Pepe, Wojak, and then holding Sol and finding my fundamental project of, say, like Zara, which was presented to me by Headband. And then I'm going to say, okay, well, that adds into my thesis, but then I'm going to go as far as then now add in the Solana DEX tokens, which is what I just said, and I have it in my portfolio here. Orca, Radium, and basically just those. I mean, like I'm going to focus on Orca, Radium, and I haven't bought any pump token, but if you're going to bring that same analysis into the DEXs for Sol, then the pump token could potentially go back up into that fully diluted value, which was supposed to be 2020 fully. It was supposed to be 20 billion. It was supposed to be. I think it was projected that it was going to be an 8 to 10 billion dollar valuation, but it only went up to like 5, and then it sold right back down into right into 1.3. So it's like, are they going to just let this thing get cooked, or are they going to do a massive airdrop whenever it hits, I don't know, say a certain type of price point? Because you got different resistance here. You got resistance here, resistance here. So at what point are they going to try and do this airdrop, and how could we potentially take advantage of this? Because if you look, this thing is in the ground. And if it goes to its $10 billion valuation, which originally it was supposed to go to, then that would be a 900% move to the upside. That outperformed Sol. Sol, if you look at the Sol chart, Sol, we think could go to its fib of the 2618 at $900. From where we're sitting right now, that's 644%. Sol goes up even just half of that amount. I'm going to wager that we're going to have Radium going up and testing into some all-time highs. We're going to have a lot of Sol ecosystem stuff pushing into where I think is a lot of these. You got to be patient. They're going to hit in the 2-6-1-8 ratio here. Just waiting for that pop, and then I would wager to bet that the overarching altcoin ecosystem here is then going to get that speculation pop once we start seeing the good times roll again. But here's the thing: we don't know when the hell that's going to happen. People are thinking that Q1 for 2026 is going to be a little bearish. It's going to be just like a little, just me chopping around. Potentially, we're going to be going to war with Venezuela. I mean, there is just some stuff happening that could really knock us off the path here. So, well, all right, my friends. I think we had enough fun. We appreciate you guys coming into today's live stream. Make sure you share this. We are on a mission. I'm going to word this properly. We are on a mission to take over YouTube. Not just my channel, but crypto content and crypto creators in general. I want to take over. We have been downgraded, bamboozled, blackballed, stonewalled for way too long. And it is time to take over and show YouTube that we deserve to be on YouTube. And we deserve to be put in the search and in front of people. So I need your help with this mission. Not just with my channel, but with all the crypto channels. I want you to, every time you see someone that you actually do like, comment on it, share the channel, share with a friend. The more you share and make the thing go viral, the more it just pumps the bags in general for crypto. That's what we also need to understand, is that you got to buy and you got to hold. You also got to share and work for your bags, which is basically being bullish on crypto content in general. Show up to the lives, show up, get the conversation going, hit the like button, do whatever you can to evangelize these crypto channels, because they are constantly banning us. They're pulling our channels down for no reason, saying we broke community guidelines with no recourse. So let's make sure that we show YouTube that we should be on the platform. Okay, let's do it. So you got to share the stream, you got to like it. And please leave a comment after it's done, because yes, you're commenting on the live, but you can also comment on it after it's done. So, and you can hit the share button. So please make sure you guys are doing that. It really helps the channel so much. And if you're watching on any of the other platforms, because we are actually streaming on, We're streaming on Kick. We're streaming on Rumble. We're streaming on Twitch. We're streaming everywhere. So if you, wherever you're watching from, just share it, hit the like button, and we just really, really appreciate it. And also, we really appreciate you guys just with the continued support and humor in me, and also listening to me freaking yell and go crazy sometimes because we get a little heated. Can't help it. We're passionate about what we do, and we want to continue to do it and get better. So I guess it's the best way that I can at least just even prove to myself that it's like, do I really want to do this? Yes, I do, because I show up and I enjoy it. And if there's 5 people or the 1,000 people, you know, at the end of the day, we're gonna figure this thing out. You know, we're gonna do it together. Dojo crew with me. You guys are forever the Dojo crew. Love you, and hope you have a good rest of the day. Hope you have a good weekend, and yeah, let's have some fun. Let's have some fun.
Is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworker you're quitting because Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead. Coin. Boom! Coin. Boom! Shitcoin is shit coin shitcoin is shit coin on Harry shitcoin on Harry on Harry on Harry on Harry Potter coin on Harry on Harry Potter 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 shitcoin on Harry Potter shitcoin. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.